Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we are looking at the HK barrel mount today for your GoPro or action camera or whatever it happens to be that you're going to stick on the end of your gun. So we had some customers ask how to put it on, so we've got one set up here. We've got all the colors. We're going to go ahead and throw one on a gun just so you can see how it goes on there. It's pretty straightforward, the mounting procedure on how it goes on. Really hard to screw this one up, guys, but let's just look at it just to make sure. So we're going to pull it out. We've got some little bits inside of our baggie here. We're going to get some screws, which are just replacement screws for the ones that are already in here, right here. Excuse me. You've also got some foam. Now, there is this foam already on here. Let me pull this off real quick. And we'll just use the one that's on the Allen key that they give you. And we'll pull these apart. Here and here. And we'll show you what the inside looks like. So it is protected or padded. Just like this. This is so you don't scratch up your barrel when you go to mount this on here. You want to make sure that the surface that you're clamping down on doesn't get marred up. So they give you these little foam pieces that are already on there, but over time these might wear or fall off, or maybe you actually need a little bit of extra room, and you can go ahead and put these other ones on and take up a little bit of that space or replace the ones that are on there. But there are all sorts of things that you can use. I've seen people use little pieces of rubber. I've seen them use Velcro backing. I've seen all sorts of things go on there. So if these happen to wear out, and then these wear out, or you break them or lose them or smash them, there's all sorts of stuff you can find to put on there. So let's take the barrel off. We're going to look for the widest spot to mount up. So on this particular barrel right here, this section is thinner than other parts of the section. Now, depending on the shape of your barrel, where it's going to sit, I always try to go for the thickest part of the barrel so I get the best connection, the best contact for the camera mount. So we're going to go right for this section right here. Now again, depending on the gun setup, depending on where it sits, the loader, certain guns are just configured differently. So you might have to go to a thinner part of the barrel or further up or further back. It's just a little bit of trial and error. You got to figure out where you want it to be. So I know this is upside, well, I don't know if this is upside down. I'm just going to mount this up for the moment and see if I can get it to where I want. Now, let's say I can't get this to go on here. They do offer longer screws. If your barrel is a little bit wider and you need longer screws, you've got some longer screws right here. So we can run those through. Let's see if we can get away with the shorter one. Oh yeah, not a problem. And so I really haven't tightened it down. I guess I tightened it down a little too much right there, because I don't know where my barrel is going to end up on my marker. So I need to make this kind of loose so that I can rotate this around like that. I'm going to put this on. And then I'm going to look down my barrel and my gun and set up my camera mount so that it is vertically in place. Now maybe you want to put it off the side like that. Maybe you want to put it hanging from underneath. You could do that too. I like that underneath shot. It's kind of cool with the camera down here, pointing forward. Put it up top, put it wherever you want. That's up to you. But again, I'm going for the thicker part of the barrel so I get the most meat for my attachment. Then I'm going to tighten it down. And as you tighten down, make sure you kind of switch back and forth, even it out. And then before you really cinch it down, check it again. Because if you over tighten one side, you can actually get the mount to slightly pivot a little bit, and then your camera won't be vertically on there, or horizontally or whatever you want to call it. And that's that. We would drop our GoPro mount right, or GoPro on there, and then we would run what's the word I'm looking for? The screw, the thumb screw or whatever, through there and attach the camera for it. The screws that they provide for you in the bag are not the ones that are for this mount right here. You can see that this screw just slides right through and doesn't actually mount. It will not tighten down the GoPro camera to the mount itself. That is, you use the thumb screw that comes with the camera itself to mount onto that part. But there you have it. That's pretty easy, pretty straightforward setup right there. Really no way to screw this one up. The only way you could really screw this up is if you weren't careful with the padding and forgot to put it in there, or broke it and then tried to mount this up. You would just end up scratching up your barrel. So be careful with that. You don't want to scratch anything up. Just make sure it's tight, make sure it's mounted properly the way you want it, and throw your camera on there, you're good to go. So these are the HK barrel mounts, all sorts of colors. Get them at ansgear.com.